Categorizing and correcting learners' mistakes. Do you feel confident, or do you feel you could use some work on this?
I think that for the level that I teach right now, it's pretty easy. If it was probably an advanced level, maybe I will, have a little, well, I wouldn't feel not prepared for it, but maybe I wouldn't know how to correct them as easily as I do now.
Right, right. So you kind of get used to the level you're teaching, but when it comes to teaching a new level, you might have some difficulty. Yeah. Right. So can you write? Can you just see if you can write on this whiteboard? Okay. I'd like you to try to correct the red sentences. All the red sentences have an error in them, and I want you to try and write sentence so that they're correct. Right, so we'll do the first one as an example. So it's I like football very much, right? Much. Okay. Marco, could you write number 2 for us, please?
Yes.
Can you actually write it on the board? See if you can do it.
I'm writing it. Can you not see my text?
Oh, yes, I can see it now. Great.
Okay. Oh, but for some reason I can't do it anymore.
Okay.
Let's see. Oh, there it is. Oops. Well, I'm gonna do it again. Here it is, I think.
Very good. Yes, that's correct, isn't it? Yeah. Every festival is very different in my country. Great. Pablo, could you write the correction for number 3? I don't know if he's back from break yet. So what about Luz? Can you write the correction for number 3?
Yes, okay.
Good. Just see if you can write on the, yeah, that's it. We must protect the environment. Brilliant. Paula.
Can I write on the chat?
Sure, but it's been corrected, so that's great. We must
okay,
protect the environment, yeah. Paula, number 4. Paula, can you correct number 4 for us?
Yes, I write in the chat number 4.
If you wish, or you could write it directly on the whiteboard.
Okay.
See if you can write on the whiteboard. Well, if you can't write on the whiteboard, you can write it in the chat and I will paste it into the whiteboard. Or just tell me if you wish. Well, this is number 4. So number 4 is better if you can type. Or just tell me and I will type it for you, Paula. Si quieres dictar tu respuesta. Number 4. Paula. So the answer is, what time did you say you were going out later, right? What time did you say you were going out later? So the verb, the auxiliary verb was missing, wasn't it? Correct. Mabel, can you help us with number 5? What should it be? You can write on that. I'm going to wear my leather red jacket. Something is not right there, is it? I think it's the order of the adjectives, isn't it? What should go before?
Sorry.
Number 5.
Is my red leather jacket?
That's correct. Yes, it's the order of adjectives, isn't it?
I
I'm
can
going
walk.
to wear my red leather jacket. I'll do it for you. Don't worry.
Thank you.
Six. Ale, can you help us with that? Number 6.
Yes, let me try it.
Try to type it if you can. It's a lot easier. Si no puedes dictarlo y yo, bueno.
Yes, it will be the weather in London is worse than the weather in Tokyo.
Yeah. That's right, worse. So it's the form of the adjective is incorrect, isn't it? The comparative. Hernan, what about number 7? Can you help us, Hernan? If you can't type, you can just tell me and I'll type it for you.
7, I went.
I went to the cinema, yes. I went to the cinema. It's past simple, isn't it? Went to the cinema last week. Perfect. Good job. Oh, didn't mean to do that. Gonna be careful with this. Now, Larissa, can you help us with 8? He worked very hardly. Doesn't sound right, does it?
He worked very hard to finish the project.
Very hard, yes. Yeah. So it's like the form of the adverb is wrong. Paulina, number 9.
Don't blame yourself.
Yes. Something to do with this. Don't blame yourself. Thank you very much, Paulina. Good job. Right. A tech genius. Well done. You can write on the whiteboard. All right. Let's go back to Maho. Can you help us with number 10? It's this rule of for and since. Do you know this rule? English, for and since. For is like
For is for periods,
period,
and
time.
since
Since is just like, yeah,
the
referring
exact
to a
date
point
could be,
in time, isn't it? Yeah. So
yes.
what should it be?
They've been away for a long time.
Exactly. Good job. For a long time. Okay, and number 11. Hernan. Something missing, isn't there? What's missing, Hernan? Can you help us with that one? Or if Hernan's not there, maybe someone else can help us.
Mm. It will be, I like listening to classic, no?
Classical music, it's correct. You're correct to say classical. So I like listening to classical music, yeah. So it's the preposition there, isn't it? Huh? And then finally, 12, Mabel.
Mm. That must be the dress that you bought last week.
Yes. Ah, that. Okay, great. Oh, should be that. No. Okay, no. So now we've done the correction. The task is going to be to categorize these errors. Because it's not just like knowing what the correction is, but how we categorize the errors. So we can decide how best to correct them. So let's, I'm going to take a screenshot of this because I'm going to share it with you in the chat. Okay. I'm going to pop it into the chat now. desktop. No, that's not right. Here we are. Okay, there we go. Okay, so please save that on your computer because we're going to need it for this next task. Okay, so now I'm going to give you a new handout. And your task is going to match the mistakes with the terms to describe the mistake. So the first one, I am like football very much. You've got to match that with the category. I am like. Well, what would you say is the category of mistake there? Have a look on the list. So it's, I am like football very much. Yes. Isn't it K? Unnecessary auxiliary verb. Do you agree? Because the am is an auxiliary verb, right? What are the other auxiliary verbs?
Was, were, have, has,
Yeah. So the verb to be and have. And yeah, the verb to be is an auxiliary verb, have is an auxiliary verb, do is an auxiliary verb, okay? So the answer there would be K, unnecessary auxiliary verb. So that's what you've got to do. Try and categorize every mistake there. All right. I'm going to give you about, how long is it going to take? It's quite a tricky one. So maybe I should give you about at least 10 minutes. Let's just have a quick check of the categories. Just to check you understand all the yeah. Okay, I'm going to share this with you again. Categorizing learners' mistakes. There we go. Sharing the document with you again. Please download it and also download the screenshot. Just quick check, you know. What is a pronoun? Can you give me an example of a pronoun?
She.
Yeah, that's right. Or he or it. Preposition. Give me an example.
From,
From,
On, in,
to, in, yeah. So on. Okay. Subject verb agreements. You know what a verb is. Relative pronoun. What's a relative pronoun? Give me an example of a relative pronoun.
Myself,
Near, far,
No, no. That, which, who. Huh? Auxiliary verb we know is like, so the verb to be is an auxiliary. All the different conjugations of be, have, and do. Auxiliaries, mixing preposition. Adverb, yeah, so normally an adverb has ly, but there are some examples that are not, like hard. I work hard. Or it has a different use. Yeah. Unnecessary and wrong word order. Okay, so I'm going to put you into groups so you can categorize them. I'll have you automatically in with a new partner. Starting now. And I'll give you about 10 minutes. Laura, please join Majo. She needs a partner. Hernan, please join. Okay. Well, you are good teachers because you can do some good corrections. So, just to confirm, these are the answers. Yeah, we're all happy with that. Right, let's just confirm. So, number one is wrong. Unnecessary auxiliary. Second is wrong subject-verb agreement. Number three is wrong verb pattern. Yeah, because after a modal verb, we don't have to. Number four is missing auxiliary verb. The verb that was missing was were. Past the verb to be. Number five, L, wrong word order. Red leather jacket, not leather red. Number six is wrong comparative. Number seven, wrong tense. Number eight, wrong adverb. Number nine, wrong pronoun. Yes, because it should be yourself, not your. So no, yourself is an example of a reflexive pronoun. Number 10, wrong preposition. 11, missing preposition. Number 12 is the wrong relative pronoun. We need which or that, not who. Any doubts before we move on? Now, what we've done is a useful exercise to make you aware of the different terminology, the grammar terminology that you'll need for the TKT Module 3, this part of the TKT Module 3 related to language. But it's not a very typical exercise of what you will see in the exam. So I think we should finish this section by doing a quick task from the exam under a timed conditions. I'm going to give you 7 or 8 minutes, and you've got to match the underlying mistake with the type of mistake A to D. You'll need to use some options more than once. All right, so you've got articles, spelling, punctuation, and verb forms of the type of mistake. All right, so this is like what you will see in the exam. It's like a composition, a whole text. It's not just individual sentences. So there's more context to work with. So they're trying to make it more natural, a more natural context for correction. All right. So I'll give you, like before, a timer. Let's do the first one together. People like to live in special places. What would number 1 be?
Spelling.
Spelling, isn't it? Yeah. Okay. So same drill. You just put your answers into the chat once you're done. All right. I'll give you 7 minutes. See how quickly you can do it. Thank you for posting the answers. Yeah, so we've got about 40 seconds to finish. Good. So yeah, the first two were B, weren't they? And because they are related to spelling. Whereas number 3 is D, punctuation. Is it? No, it's verb form. Because I always think about designing, because you've got a preposition about, the verb that follows about needs to be a gerund, an ing form, so it's a verb form. Number 4 is article, because you need a new idea. It's the indefinite article. Number 5 is a problem to do with punctuation. Yeah. You shouldn't have a comma in the middle between a verb and its object. Number 6 is also article, because a long way is the expression. Number 7 is once again verb forms. I want it to be, not being. I want it to be big and strong. Number 8 is related to D, is D, verb forms. Relax and have fun. Number 9 is punctual, is spelling. Excellent. There's a C missing. And number 10 is related to articles again. It needs to be the definite article, doesn't it? The rest of the house. Okay, good job. So, quick revision there of language terminology that will be useful for the Module 3, Part 1. Now, we're going to turn our attention to Part 2. Which is more to do with classroom management. All right. So we're going to start with teachers' roles, and we'll look at then grouping students. So let's start with a quick word search. Here we go. Can you help me to find 9 possible roles of the teacher in the classroom? What does the teacher do in the classroom? It's not just teaching, right? Yeah, it's too obvious, isn't it? How do we define, categorize, and label the different roles that the teacher has in the classroom? Can you help me to find the 9 in the word search? Managers, yes. Well, yeah, manager. Planner, yes. It's good. Adapter, yeah. Assessor, quite right. Enabler. Advisor, yes. We're still missing one or two. Monitor, okay, you've got another one there. Good. Okay, I think we're just missing one, beginning with H. Helper. Did you miss that one? Helper is this one here. Goes diagonally. It's a bit of a cheat, really, isn't it? I wouldn't be allowed, in a newspaper one. Helper. Okay, so we got them all there. So they are manager, monitor, planner, adapter, enabler, helper, advisor, assessor, and reflector. Okay. I'm going to put you into groups. And we're going to do another little Jamboard activity. Oh, sorry. Let's have so we've got a couple of extra roles of the teacher here. I've added language resource and diagnostician and contributor and counselor. So there is some variation between the possible roles, but some are fairly stable, like manager, monitor, and assessor. Okay, so I'm going to have Hernan, please, and Ali to work on this one. Roles of the teacher is going to be this one. Okay, and I'd like you to try to match them, and you'll find that so a narrator obviously is going to be someone who tells stories, telling learners about things that have happened. All right. So that's you, Ali and Annan. I'll have B. Group B is going to be Paulina, Laura, and Naho. Not Mojo, Majo, sorry. C is going to be Luz and Paula. And Pablo and Mabel. Mabel still here? Yeah. Is going to be D. I'm not missing anyone, am I? Okay, so let's put you into your breakout rooms. Before I do, here are your links on the jump boards. Please click on there. I'm going to give you about 7 minutes. It shouldn't take you that long. Okay, I'm going to open the breakout rooms right now.
Okay.
Okay, good job. So I'm gonna share with you I didn't actually give you the handout for this yet, and that was deliberate. So but there is a handout, so I'm gonna give it to you now. Let me just find it. Here it is. It's called The Roles of the Teacher. There we go. It's a PDF. So you can save it and consult it later. So quick answer check. Coming up now. So just to confirm then, a manager is a person who controls the group dynamic. They decide on the interaction patterns. They demonstrate tasks and activities. They develop a rapport or a good understanding with the students. They encourage the learners. They give instructions, motivate them. They praise them, maintain discipline, responding to classroom problems as they happen. So it's quite a wide role, isn't it, manager? Facilitator is all about developing autonomy, helping the learners to fulfill their potential, getting them to access resources, providing opportunities for individual learning. Language resource is all about personalizing, contextualizing, eliciting, clarifying, explaining, and modeling language. It's about consolidating learner language, providing language inputs like verb tenses and so on, correcting learner language as we've done. Monitor is rather about observing and collecting information about learner performance, behavior, contribution, effort, and progress. It's about keeping a written record of their work. Reflector is something that a teacher does to him or herself, thinking about their performance, thinking about the learner's progress as well. Planner anticipates problems, decides on a methodology for lessons. They design and adapt text and materials. They prepare texts and tasks for learners. They select materials and text for lessons. Now, a counsellor gives them advice on difficulties they may have outside of their classroom. They show understanding of issues learners may bring to the classroom from outside. A narrator, as we've seen, tells stories and tells learners about things that have happened. An assessor evaluates learners' performance, behavior, effort, and contribution. They check understanding. They're about testing learners' progress and level. They provide feedback on work, progress, behavior, and contribution. Contributor puts forward ideas or information other than language, such as participating in discussion. A diagnostician evaluates learners' needs and difficulties. Now, I'm going to assign you and your partner two roles, and I want you to do the following task. Okay, I want you to brainstorm when teachers might take these roles, thinking about before, during, and after lessons. So to Ali and Hernan, I'm going to assign you three roles, sorry. I'm going to assign you, let's see. I'll assign you language resource. So turning it pink, just to remind you. I'll assign you narrator. And I'll assign you contributor. Okay, I'm going to give you about 10 minutes to write on a sticky. I'll give you green sticky. Write on the sticky when the teacher might, just one example of when the teacher might do this role of language resource, narrator, or contributor. So, just remind you of the task. So brainstorm when teachers might take these roles, thinking about before, during, and after the lesson. So that's okay. To Paulina, Lara, and Majo, I'm going to assign you manager. I'll assign you facilitator. And I'll assign you monitor. Okay, and you can write examples on the sticky, the green sticky note. Short notes, you don't have to write sentences. So Luz and Paula. So you've got to brainstorm when teachers might take these roles. And which one shall I give you? How about assessor? One hasn't been given. How's it going to do? Diagnostician. And also planner. So planner's probably going to be doing that work before the lesson, right? And D, Pablo and Mabel, gonna have you do reflector, counselor, also manager. Okay, I'll let you work on this a little bit longer. It's like a lluvia de ideas. Think about when the teachers might do this, these jobs. You're in the breakout rooms again. Blanca, I'm gonna have you help Hernan.
Hi, Andrew. I'm sorry, I'm just joining here. I was taking care of some health issues.
Okay. Good to have you.
I'm sorry for being late though.
Please go join your rooms.
Así quedarían.
Hi, Hernán.
Listo, ya quedó así, ¿no?
Sí, me decía Andrew que pusiera alguna opinión ahí en las rositas y pues mis ideas ya estaban ahí expresadas, entonces yo ya no agregué nada más que acá en contributor, pero no sé si estás de acuerdo con la contribución que hice ahí en contributor.
Sí, está bien, ya la leí, sí, está bien.
Ok, entonces pues yo no sé si nos va a regresar a la, a la junta principal o todavía seguimos en breakout rooms.
No, ya nos va a regresar, ya se va a acabar.
¿Verdad? Ok. Apenas me acabo de integrar a la junta, andaba ya en el médico, pero me mandó ya hartos mensajes de que ya tengo muchas actividades que se van a expirar pronto. No sé si hayan ya hablado de eso.
No, aún no nos dice nada.
Ok. Bueno, te digo que me mandó como un montón de links y esta actividad ya se te va a acabar pronto y esta actividad dije, ¡ay, me faltan un montón!
Sí, es que sí está presionando más, quién sabe, yo creo lo están checando.
Muy seguro, será porque ya nomás tenemos un día para acabar todo ese curso.
Sí, yo no puedo ingresar a la plataforma, ¿tú sí lo hiciste en plataforma?
Sí, ahí es donde todavía me falta un buen. Me faltan un buen de actividades y esos son los mensajes que me está mandando que te faltan todas estas y ya te queda bien poquito tiempo.
Pues a ver, pues yo también me pongo.
Sí, pues a ver ahorita qué dice, pero no, él ni dice nada de eso. Yo creo que ahorita le voy a preguntar. ¿Qué tanto, cómo influye eso? ¿O es parte de, o cómo se va a valorar eso? ¿En qué se toma en cuenta?
Pues sí, ya ves que tenemos muy poco tiempo.
Sí, pues.
Ni modo, we're gonna do a little bit of whole class feedback now. So I think we just have Blanca and Hernan. So can you tell us about these different roles? But remember to tell us when the teacher might do these roles. Is it before, during, or after? Or maybe a combination? Se puede hablar en español con mucho gusto. Ale and Blanca, would you like to go first?
Yes, that's not a problem. I think that some of those roles the teacher might have, for example, manager is during.
Okay, but please just talk about language resource narrator and contributor.
Okay, so language resource, it might be during the class, narrator also during the class, and contributor also during the class.
Okay, why do you say that?
Because most of the time, for example, the role of the narrator happen during a lesson, during an activity, whenever you are describing or telling, for example, children's a story. And contributor, I don't know if my opinion was accepted by everyone on the team, but I thought that the teacher is a contributor when there are not enough students to complete the things, for example. So the teacher become a contributor.
Good job. Yeah, yeah.
That's what I think. Those two different roles might be during the class. And language resource can be during, but also before, because sometimes you have to plan classes like inverted, not to go and give the classes, but for the students to do a little bit of research before that, and you can be a language resource in those cases. So that's what I think.
You're an excellent contributor, Blanca. Thank you.
No problem.
On to Paulina, Laura, and Majo. Can you tell us about your three? Manager, facilitator, and monitor.
Yes, for manager, we mentioned that it is during, since controlling, deciding, demonstrating, or even encouraging students happens during the lesson. For facilitator, this well, we have several moments here. It could be before, during, or after, because as we plan or as we assign activities or tasks, we can be facilitators, in this case, helping our learners or developing their potential.
Quite
And
right, yes.
and monitoring, well, during, because in this case, to observe or collect information, we will have to observe our students. However, I was thinking, can we also do it after? For example, if we are checking exams, can we do that there?
I reckon, yeah, yeah. Although it's more likely to be assessor, isn't it?
Oh, well, that's true. But well, that's what we wrote there.
Very good. Thank you. Agreed. And on to C. It's Luz and Paula. Tell us about assessor, diagnostician, and planner.
Okay, diagnostician could be before, I think, could be before and during the lesson. Yes.
Yeah.
Planner before.
Yeah.
Before
What
the
do we
lesson.
what do we do regarding planning?
What? Sorry.
What can you give an example of what we do there before when we're a planner?
Maybe prepare a worksheets. Not the topic about a tense or
Exactly.
vocabulary or I don't know,
That's
something
right.
like that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Good. And assessor?
And assessor could be during and after the lesson too,
Uh-huh.
with
Yeah.
quizzes and exams
Yeah.
and
Tests.
some
Yeah.
oral questions.
Yeah.
That's it.
Great job. Yeah.
Yes, thank you.
And finally, Pablo and Mabel, tell us about manager, reflector, and counselor.
Okay. Well, we take the role of manager in every moment of the class, the lesson, because before the lesson, we need to decide what could be the instruction during the class. Okay, we need to think beforehand. During we could guide the activities and obviously keeping the what? How do you say discipline? Discipline?
Yeah.
Okay. Um, After giving positive feedback, okay, like in the reflector role, it could be most of the time during the class because it's where the discussion are happening. We could discuss the activities. We could discuss topic.
Huh? Huh?
I think, well, we think it could be after the lesson, um, because we could talk about the, the same subject, our impressions, or
Yes,
how we
as
think.
a teacher, yeah. Our own impressions of how the lesson went. Yeah.
Uh-huh. And like a counselor could be after the class, like, well, when we, I don't know, ¿cómo se dice? Bueno, cuando estamos explicando un tema,
Mm.
después de que explicamos alguno en particular, pues sí podemos mencionar los errores más comunes que se pueden dar cuando estamos platicando o en una conversación, como tipo, estamos acostumbrados tanto al español que podemos dar el mismo orden de las oraciones que en inglés y hacer la aclaración. Cuando estamos hablando en inglés, pues podemos pensar así, o tendemos a usar mucho los artículos que vienen en inglés, agregamos mucho el the. Igual les podemos dar esos
Yeah.
consejos cuando acabamos de dar la
That-
clase para que ellos pues estén más al pendiente de no cometer ese tipo de errores.
yeah, that's right. But it's not just language counseling, is it? It's also maybe sometimes it has to be psychological as well, like giving the students the assurance that they can succeed and yeah, giving them strategies, learning strategies to help them. Yeah, so part of this can be affective, right? Because sometimes students need affective support. Apoyo afectivo, yeah. So that's also part of a counselor's role.
Okay, thank you.
Good. Well, we're almost done on our second session. So we're due another break now. And let's have another 15 minutes. And when we come back, we'll do our final topic, which is grouping students and interactions, managing interactions with students in the classroom, which is quite challenging, isn't it? All right. So we're going to be looking at the different terminology for classroom interactions. So see you back in about 14 minutes. Good job. All right. So, what are some advantages of working in groups?
We said that the students share knowledge whenever they are working in groups. They share knowledge,
Yeah,
they
yeah,
share ideas.
yeah. So let's put that one down. Share, students share ideas. Knowledge.
In this case, I don't know if you were just considering like a student-wise or also teacher-wise.
Go ahead. Yeah. What do you think might be the advantage there?
Because in my case, whenever I make them work in groups, it's for me to grade them faster. You know, instead of checking 20
Ah,
projects, I only
yeah.
check 5
So you could say it's easier to
to grade.
assess or grade informally. Huh? Any other possible advantages of group work? How about this? You can actually help them to develop leadership skills and teamwork skills, right? So it teaches them how to lead and be led by someone other than the teacher.
And
Yeah,
also
we sometimes forget this, don't we? Yeah, go ahead.
Or in this case, sometimes students can feel like confident with the support of others in the group. Or
Yeah. Students feel confident, yeah. Builds confidence as students get support. From peers. Okay, so that's all the positives. Any negatives?
We mentioned that classroom management could get hard as they are working together. You know, the class can get noisy or students tend to talk more. Also, as we mentioned before, one student is always the one that's doing all the work.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, like, if this group work gets to a presentation, sometimes students are absent. You have all of those issues with the group work.
No? So you could say, you know, you're not always not able to listen to everyone at once and hear what they're saying. Okay, these are sort of general ideas related to classroom management, but we're going to get a bit more technical now. And you're going to see some terms that maybe you haven't encountered before, because these are the sort of terms that will occur on the TKT exam. So again, it might be a good idea if you have the glossary ready. So let's get that out, TKT glossary, because we're going to see some fairly specific terms coming into the chat now. Okay, and I'm going to give you a new handout that has a range of different interaction patterns. Oh, so this is grouping students coming into the chat now. Okay, and you can see some interesting looking diagrams here. Now this is material provided by Cambridge, and they make the exam, so you can guarantee that these patterns are the ones that are going to come up on the TKT exam. Okay. Looks like, I don't know, something from like computer code or something, doesn't it? So your task is to work together. I'm going to put you in pairs and try to match the interaction patterns described below with the diagrams on the worksheet. Okay. So you'll notice that there are two kinds of pair work. There's closed pairs and open pairs. Right, so let's look at the first one. Students working in closed pairs. This is where students work with a partner during pair work, but not in front of the class. So which one do you think this is going to be?
No, I
Which
cannot.
diagram is that? Any ideas? So students working in closed pairs, which diagram is that?
Could it be 5?
That's right, it's 5.
I
Yeah,
agree.
it's 5. Yeah. Okay, so that's your task. You're going to do it quickly in about less than 5 minutes, working in pairs to match the diagrams with the interaction patterns described. Okay, so this is where it's getting a bit more technical. All right. more to do with the TKT terminology. All right, I'll come and check on you, but you've got it now. You've all got this worksheet. So opening the breakout rooms. Please find your partner. Okay, you're doing this pretty well, guys. You're showing ganas and intelligence with this. I'm very impressed. Pablo, could you show me your answers? Let's see if we agree with Pablo's answers.
These are my answers.
Yeah.
We also
I
have the same.
think yes. Thank you.
Looks pretty right to me. Yeah, so 1 should be B, 2 should be C, 3 should be E, 4 is H, 5 is A, 6 is G, 7 is D, 8 is F, and 9 is I. Yeah, that's right, isn't it? Let's just check again. So B, 2 is C, 3 is E, 4 is H, 5 is A, 6 is G, 7 is D, 8 is F, 9 is I. All right, good. Was this a surprise that there are so many interaction patterns?
Not really. Maybe we didn't know the names of them.
But there's some areas of potential confusion, aren't there? Like, what is the difference between closed pairs and open pairs? Can you explain that one?
I guess a student working in pairs, however, closed pairs is just between two, and open pairs will be among all the pairs.
Yeah, it's the open. I think the open pair is all about, isn't it? It's in front of the class, isn't it? It's for the rest of the class perhaps to demonstrate. So it's just, when it's open pairs, it's like one pair doing it in front of the whole class to demonstrate, yeah, an activity. Whereas closed pairs is doing it, but not in front of the class.
I was thinking more like open pair would be students choose their own pair, and closed pair would be that you assign the pair.
No. That's not the technical definition. Yeah. If you check it in the glossary, the TKT glossary, it should be the same as this definition of closed pairs and open pairs. Yeah?
Okay.
Now, what's the difference between working in groups and working in teams? Anyone
I think
explain the difference?
Yes, I think groups could be more than 2, and in teams it could be only 2 teams.
Yes, it's usually 2 teams, and they're usually competing against each other. Yeah, or they're having some sort of debate or discussion, yeah? When they're working in teams. And when they're working in groups, it's usually they're talking together. All right. Bit more technical, isn't it? So what I'd like us to do to finish with this activity is to think about the advantages and disadvantages of each of these. So Thank you very much for showing us those answers, Pablo. They were very well done. And so I'm going to put you into pairs again. And I want you to think of advantages and disadvantages of each of these. But also think of a classroom activity or situation in which this interaction pattern is required. All right. But I'm gonna streamline this a little bit by just assigning you two each. So Lauritia, Mabel, and Majo, you are going to just do A and B. Anan and Pablo, you're just going to do C and D. Blanca and Luz, I'll have you do E, F, and G. And Paula and Paulina, H and I. Okay, so I'm saving a bit of time. We don't only have to do. Okay, so Mabel, Majo, and Lauricia, you'll just have to do these two here, yeah? That makes sense?
Yes.
Yeah. And whereas Hernan, Pablo, you just do C and D. So you're thinking, what are the advantages and the disadvantages of open pairs and individual work? And you've got to think of a typical classroom activity or situation. Write it in there. Blanca and Luz, you're doing E, F, and G. Group work, teamwork, and face-to-face.
Okay.
So it's menos trabajo, okay? And H and I is going to be Paula and Paulina, open class, student-led, and mingle. Paula, do you know what a mingle is? Any ideas what a mingle is?
Like to move around the classroom.
Yeah, yeah. Often you have some sort of questionnario, right? And you have to ask each student. All right? So you shouldn't need more than about 6 or 7 minutes then to work on this because there's less work. We're all doing it together. Okay. Let's open the breakout rooms. And you can get started. Any questions before we start?
No, not really.
Todos tienen acceso, ¿no? Al Google Doc. Yeah.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, vamos rápido so we can finish. Good work, everyone. You did that in really good time. Okay, so before we go to our Kahoot, let's just check. So let's begin with Mabel and Majo telling us about closed pairs. The rest of you, you can make notes in your Google Doc as you listen. Tell us about closed pairs. What are the advantages, disadvantages? What are the activities?
In this case, we mentioned that students can collaborate with each other, and this can result in students feeling confident and not nervous. A disadvantage, however, it's that students can get off task and or distracted. And a possible classroom activity could be answering a worksheet, or as well as preparing like a mini presentation or something.
Yeah.
Good. Should I go ahead with the second one?
Yeah, open class, please. Yeah.
With open class, we said that the teacher, an advantage is the teacher could elicit different opinions from students.
Good, yeah.
In this case, a disadvantage, we mentioned that we can lose track of our teacher talking time.
Yeah.
And for a possible classroom activity, this could be, for example, when we start a new topic. So you introduce it in front of the classroom, trying to once again elicit students' knowledge about it.
Yeah, giving sort of presentation, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah, good. Thank you. Agree with those. So B is, and then Pablo, can you tell us about individual work and group work? Remember, as the rest of you listen, you can copy these notes into your Google form. And maybe then you could print it out later.
Okay, because we think that the individual work had the advantage to develop individual skills or knowledge about the subject, and like a disadvantage is for oneself, like for the teacher, because it needs more time to grade each work. And the classroom activity situation could be like write 5 examples of a sentence from a past simple tense sentence.
Yeah.
Like it practice and develops the skill for I don't know, make sentences.
Exactly, yeah.
And in a group work, advantage or two advantages from the group work. It could be that it enriches the knowledge for the teammates. Everyone shares their knowledge or the understanding from the subject.
Yeah.
I mean, it gives the opportunity for lead and get led by, like we were saying earlier. And at disadvantage, it could be that the activity needs more time to do it successfully because it needs time to get to know, to organize, to share each comentario.
Yeah. Exactly. Good job. I think we missed our open pairs, but never mind. can you just tell us about so Blanca and Luz? Can you just tell us F and G, because Pablo and Hernan also already covered group work.
Okay, for teamwork, we said that the advantages are that it promotes competition among the students.
Yeah.
And one of these advantage would be that the class can get noisy and they may cause discussions between the teams.
Yeah.
And one of the activities for teamwork could be a debate or a contest.
Yeah. Great. Totally right. And then G.
Okay, I think for G, we said that the advantages are that it offers practice a grammar structure and also favors speaking. The disadvantages might be that only one student work, that could be a disadvantage, and the activity might be an interview.
Right. Totally right. Yeah, or either that or maybe rapid fire questions. It's good for practicing questions and answers quickly. And finally, Paulina and Paula. Please, very quickly. So we can finish.
And that in open class let their advantages students school vocabulary and compare their work, but on the other hand, not all of students like to talk in front of others. And one activity that we think of is that students can select a topic of interest to talk about it. In Google, we can say that an advantage is that students interact with different classmates, but they could use some the L1 for example activity is find someone who
Yeah. Yeah, that's completely right. And you could also say mingle is can be noisy, and it can be when to stop the activity. Yeah, we don't always know when it's the best time. Open pairs, I would say, it's good for demonstrating activities. Disadvantages, well, only two students are doing the activity. So what do rest of class do? Well, they're demonstrating. Maybe it's some sort of, maybe it could be some sort of, maybe a pair role play or something to demonstrate it. In front of the class, and then the whole class, after they've seen the demonstration, they can then do the role play activity, acting out it in front of the whole, well, in their own pairs, in their closed pairs. So usually open pairs precedes open pairs. Any questions before we finish on grouping students? All we have to do now is have a quick Kahoot, and we're finished. Are you ready for the Kahoot?
Maybe.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
It's all on module 3, just module 3, okay? What we've done today. So let's start this. All right, let's get started, shall we? Any late starters can join us as we begin. Teacher says, have a nice weekend to students of the class. What role does the teacher have in this situation? Huh. It's a weird one, isn't it? Not sure if I agree with that one. Huh. TTT. I think I know. Teacher talking time. During a lesson, the teacher is often a manager or a language resource. But right before it, teacher is a planner seems the most logical one, right? Grading your language means using appropriate language. think. Using language students understand. That makes sense, doesn't it? In a writing class, brainstorming usually comes after.
Acá abajo.
No, está abajo.
Está en la sala.
Es cierto.
Bueno, no sé dónde está entonces.
Task. Delayed correction is done too. Yes. Huh. Delayed error correction is where we're usually taking notes when students are speaking so that we don't interrupt them while they're in the flow of a conversation, a speaking task. So it allows them to keep their focus. We don't distract them. Secondary aim could be to save them from embarrassment as well, though. Yes, it's verb form, it should be a must. Must go to the beach.
¿Dónde frijol? ¿Quieres sopa de pescado también? ¿Ya dejaste cerrado el gato? Sí, yo no le quería dar a más comida para que no hubiera pleito entre los animales por la comida.
Yeah, good. Let's open class. Language resources, also known as
Cuando no hay agua de sabor, no come. Tendrá que te hidratas un poco luego de que estás en la piscina.
subject. Making a list of things to do during vacation, students.
con eso estaba confundido.
Makes sense. One of the students finished grammar exercise early.
Ningún pensamiento, cero pensamiento. Hola, no es que esto es y eso de que de construcción.
Check his answers, yeah. Oh, I'll give the student another task. Managers in class teachers.
Una forma de la por ejemplo,
Well done, Maho. Student works in teams because
no, mi socio, no te vas, pero a lo mejor me imagino que estoy en otro lugar, o yo estoy ahí. Sí, pero que estoy en otro lugar, así no componente completamente mental, desconectarse de donde está, ¿no?
oh yes, competing, aren't they? Yeah.
Y después, ¿qué pasa eso? Necesitas platicar
Fluency practice.
para entender cómo es como otra pieza de información importante acerca de ti. A mí, por ejemplo, ahorita me estás diciendo y si se me hace así como... No, puede que no sea nada, pero mira que agendan interpretaciones de tres. No, yo interpreté.
Son bien extremistas, o sea, interpretan lo peor.
We don't expect them to make no errors. Yeah, good job. Teaching style ideal for students who have specific problems with language they've learned before.
Pues sí, pues no es culpar, pero entiendo que todo el mundo se preocupó mucho por ti.
Test, teach, test. That's right. It's where you have a test, do some teaching in the middle, and then test again to see if they've learned it. Facilitators also known as
Mi misma mamá, si de repente no entiende, si tengas tantos años yendo al psicólogo y que todavía falla o de mí, que tengo una dificultad.
resource.
Pero el psicólogo te ayuda mucho.
Pues siento que yo creo
Te ayuda
pues ya le dije a mi mamá.
Es de las mejores cosas que puedes hacer en la vida. La neta, eso sí.
Pendejadas así de los las veces de otra perspectiva y te ayuda a
Porque el psicólogo que lo guarda te pone.
te voy a decir que yo miserable estoy viendo progreso y no solo de cambios en el TikTok, de hecho ya lo voy a espaciar cada 2 semanas.
Read, Paulina's catching up. Recasting is also known as.
Pero yo soy una persona muy funcional. Yo asumo mis responsabilidades.
Yeah, reformulating.
O tú haber tomado la iniciativa. Digo, no te reclamo, porque era muy.
That makes sense when they finish their tasks.
La podés poner nueva y hasta que yo no voy a bajar la lista. Vas a tirar el agua. Y eso es a lo que me refería cuando venimos del coche, que soy observadora. Dejo la barra de jabón, pasan 5 días, y yo voy a bañar, me voy a hacer mi cabello, porque ya sabes que yo me baño muchas veces, y la barra intacta en 5 días, que te seguiste bañando.
Yeah. And the penultimate. And finally, encouraging students to use the dictionary after class helps develop. Good. Well done, Majo. 3. Blanca in second place. And who is it? Paulina. Fantastic. Pablo and me in 4th and 5th position. Good. Now, before we finish, do you have any worries, doubts, or queries that I can answer?
Andrew, I would like to know how the course helps or affects our result for the examination. Since I was missing like for 2 or 3 hours today, that's why I asked that.
Well, the important thing is that you do well in the exam.
Okay.
I think there'll be some sort of recognition of participation, because I mean we can see that you've been participating on the platform, and also I've been taking a note of who's been attending. But the main thing is that you use this as a resource to practice for the exam, because it's the exam that's the proof of the pudding, as they say, right?
Okay, yes, because I received your messages about the activities being due, and I thought that would count something for the evaluation.
Okay,
But
well,
now
just try and do as much as you can while you have this resource available, because it all helps you with the
yes, it has.
preparing for the TKT, yeah.
Yes,
And
thank you.
try and do the practice mock exam. Yeah.
Yes. Yes, thank you.
Pablo, adelante.
Oigan, ¿usted cuántos exámenes vamos a hacer el sábado? Porque han llegado varios correos diciendo sobre el lugar y la hora. Y llegó uno que teníamos el turno de la tarde, pero llegó otro que decía que teníamos que estar desde las 8 para el registro. Entonces no sé si vamos a hacer uno antes y otro después, o si va a ser el TKT y luego el, el otro, el Language Skills.
Yeah. I'm afraid I don't have that information. Could you ask the best person to ask from the IH side is Tim Matsuda Aroba, because I don't have the information about these things in the ihmexico.com or Terry Gonzalez.
Okay, bien. Sí, gracias.
Maybe Terry
Yes.
Gonzalez, but would be the best person to ask, right? Because she's been dealing more directly with Ronnie.
Okay.
Okay. Any further doubts or queries?
Yo tengo otra duda.
Yeah.
¿Vamos a poder seguir teniendo acceso a la plataforma después de un tiempo?
Sí.
Sí. O sea, ¿como cuánto tiempo será?
Hasta un
Después del examen.
mes you're there, yeah.
Un mes, ok.
Yeah.
Ok, muchas gracias.
So try and save as much as you can. Yeah.
Yes, ok. Gracias. Thanks.
Well, desejo mucho suerte con el examen.
Sí, gracias.
Han sido excelentes participantes. Todos.
Gracias, Sandro. I appreciate it.
Gracias.
Thank you very
Gracias.
much,
Thank
Andrew.
you, gracias.
Gracias, gracias.
Night.
Bye.
Good
Que
night.
descansen.
Thank you, bye.
Igualmente.
Bye-bye.
Voy a hacer guardar
It's
los
my son.
voy a también
Gracias.
Guarda el recording aquí, ¿no?
Sí, gracias.
Pueden
Gracias.
revisarlo después. ¿Vale?
Thank you.
Vale. Buenas noches.
Good night.
Bye, everyone.
Gracias, buenas noches.